All right, my fellow Xers, I just have a short one here for you while I'm working on something else. I have one question and one question only for you. What is your favorite thing from your childhood? As a Gen X child, what was the absolute favorite part of being a Gen X child? Was it our freedom outside to be able to do whatever we wanted? Was it arcades all over the place and you could go and hang out there with your friends and it was like a bar for children? And they were smoke filled and horrible and sometimes not a good place. In fact, where I lived, arcades were considered very bad. And if you went to them, you were frowned upon by the church group, or if you were at church and I would go to junior Bible study and some other kid would always out me for having been at the arcade on the weekend on Saturday. So what? My parents, they let me go. My grandparents let me go, and they were extremely straight uptight Baptists, and they still let me go because it was the one place in town where kids were allowed to go. Now, what was your favorite thing? It's just, let me know. Was it going outside? Was it your freedom? Was it the bike? Was it the fact that we always had a fairly large group of friends? Even the geekiest and nerdiest of everybody in the Gen X generation had a group of 5 or 6 that you always hung out with. There was very few people that were complete loners. In fact, they would call people loners, and sometimes they might have had the biggest group of people that they hung around with compared to the preps and the jocks and everybody else. You know, what was your favorite thing that you got to do? Or the best part of being a Gen X kid? And now for those that are older and younger, when you hear the stories of Gen X, what do you think is the one thing Gen X kids got to experience that no one else did that you really wish you had got to experience? Now, there might be something similar going on today, but I mean, if it was like the first time that it was ever really there for a generation of kids, what is it that you wished you could have experienced? Specifically, I'm talking to you millennials. Gen Z tend to think that everything past 25 years old is ridiculous and needs to be forgotten. And for the boomers and those that are silent generation still around that might catch this, I notice there are a few of you from the silent generation that have watched these. And I'd like you to know, because as we would have been your children, what is the one thing that we regularly got to experience that you wish you could have? And I know being a silent generation, maybe it was the freedom we had to just roam around and do what we wanted, because most of the silent generation had to work to help keep the house alive when they were being raised. So I understand maybe that's what it would have been for you. Let me know. That's all I want to know. It was just a quick one. Get down in the comments down below. Let me know. Come on, everybody. Like, thumbs up. It's going. Channel's growing. I'm happy. Y'all seem to be enjoying it. A little bit of memory. You know, yeah, I don't put a lot of flash in it because, like I said, I talk straight. It's from the heart. And I like to just go off the cuff, because when you sit there and you glaze it over and you fancy it all up and you make it fake, it loses realism. And that's something we don't have anymore in this world. So that's all I'm trying to do when I talk about these things. So let me know, what was your favorite part of being a Gen X kid? Especially the earliest Gen X kids, born in 65, 66, that had their prime child years in the mid to late 70s, because I'm an early 70s Gen Xer. So my prime time was the early 80s. So I'd like to know, especially from you guys, because there is a bit of a difference there between the first Gen Xers and those of us towards the end of the Gen X, because a lot happened in between all of a sudden in that short time span. So I'd like to know. So this is Drac saying, till next time, peace out, everybody.